We'll talk with Athletic Director Scott Thomas about spring sports on this episode of Barnstable Today. It's Thursday, March 31st, 2016. I'm Sarah Mannel.
Thank you very much. I'm Len Gobeil here at Barnstable High School with our athletic director, Scott Thomas. Scott, good morning.
Good morning to you.
As one of our assistants was saying to me before we went on the air, this is the third or fourth time that we do an interview, and the questions are all the same. Hopefully the answers will be different.
Sure. It's always a pleasure to be here, and we always have some great things to talk about in regards to our student athletes in Barnstable High School athletics.
There was a conference that was held, I believe it was at Cape Cod Community College a week ago, 2 weeks ago, sponsored by a lot of the kids here, and the discussion was opioids and various types of medications that are available to the general public. And my question to you as the athletic director of a major high school, have you seen any of that flow down to the high school level? Are kids using prescribed drugs or unprescribed drugs? Have you seen any of that?
It has not really come to our doorstep yet in regards to having to act upon it as a violation of the MIAA chemical health policy that we abide by. We do have from time to time other violations with regards to alcohol and tobacco and sometimes marijuana. But in terms of the opioid situation, it has not come to our door yet. It's hard to ignore everything that's going on in the community, and it's scary, and it's certainly on our radar, but it has not come to our door yet, thankfully.
Without making light of it, without making a joke about it or whatever, it seems that years ago when I was teaching, it was the same thing. It was cigarettes and alcohol and some marijuana issues too. So basically, and I'm not suggesting for a moment that every kid at the high school is using any of those three or all of those three, but it's still there.
It's still there, you know, you go into each year, you talk about it, you make sure that the student athletes are aware of consequences and how it's a violation of our core values here at the school, and just in terms of the morals and values that we bring forth to our student athletes during the course of a playing season. So we definitely talk about it, but again, thankfully, not that the other issues don't cause big problems as well, because they do. Thankfully, again, it has not come to our doorstep yet.
In the event that there is a party that goes on at somebody's house or in the woods or at the beach or someplace, and there are half a dozen kids, and they're caught by the law authorities, by the police, and you find out that they are student athletes, are there any things that happen to those students if they are caught with alcohol in their hands? Can kids be dropped from the team?
Basically, you know, we have a memorandum of understanding with the local police department. We have a roundtable discussion law where we discuss if there's a police report which has a student that is later determined to be a student athlete. Yes, we have acted upon those. We still go through the proper procedure and the proper protocol of meeting with the student and with the parents and hearing their side of the story, and you know, and then following a procedure that involves due process. And at the end of that due process, if the student athlete is deemed to have been in violation, then yes, they do suffer the consequences that are prescribed by the MIAA.
Earlier we were talking, I want to change the subject a little bit. Earlier you and I were talking about concussions. And it's a big news now, and there are things going on in the national level in all sports. Mm-hmm. Have you started a new program where kids have to go online, where students, athletes have to go online and look and get a baseline, so that in the event that anything happens, you've at least got something to go by?
Yes, this spring, a new policy in that you were not able to begin the spring season of tryouts unless you had gone online and taken the impact test. As a screening test that is used very much throughout the country, and specifically, of course, in Massachusetts and on Cape Cod, to get a baseline test for student athletes in the event that they do get a concussion. The doctors are able to use that in determining when it's safe for the student athlete to come back. They have to follow a return to play protocol that is monitored by our athletic trainer in cooperation with the doctor for the kid, or also with our school physician, Dr. Katie Rudman. So Keith Shigeris, our athletic trainer, and Dr. Rudman and any other primary care physician will discuss the proper protocol to return the athlete to play in the proper manner. So we're doing it online. We put a link on our website so that everyone would have access to that. What we had tried in the past is to have one of our assistant athletic trainer, EMT, set up labs where we would go through all of the student athletes, to make sure that we had everybody up to date. With the magnitude and the size of our program, with upwards to 450, borderline 500 student athletes in a season, it wasn't really getting done as efficiently as we wanted it to. So we've tried this new system, which seems to have worked really well. As of yesterday, which we're only 3 days into the season, out of 450 student athletes, I believe everyone but a dozen had gone online and done this test, and we don't allow them to start until they've had it.
Talking about the total numbers of students who are participating in athletics, if my numbers are correct, you're up around 30%, 35% of the kids who are actually in the school who are participating in athletics. That hasn't gone down at all, has it?
No, we have a great participation rate. We feel like we offer a wide array of opportunities. The spring is our biggest, and it's great. The kids are all ramped up to get outside after the winter, and we have a great sailing program, which is so unique and so fortunate to have the venues that we do for those student athletes to participate in cooperation with the local, with the Hyannis Yacht Club and some of the other local yacht clubs. It's really a wonderful situation for those student athletes. And of course here at school, from tennis to softball, baseball, both lacrosses, track, we really have a great number of sports to offer to our student athletes, and the participation rate has been excellent.
Is this the second year, I believe, for Mike Hersey, your sailing coach?
This is the first year.
This is his first year?
This is his first year.
Yeah.
It is, and he's gotten the kids off on the water yesterday. It was a beautiful first day for them on the water yesterday. I think a lot of us shudder when we think of taking a capsize on on an early spring day. But the kids are awesome. They're used to it. They're ready for it. The coaching staff is fantastic. So that's a really neat opportunity again for our kids.
With all due respect, as you get older, the shudders come more quickly, don't they?
Oh, absolutely, no question.
You see the kids to turn over the boat, they jump out of the water, jump in the boat, and say, "Let's go, let's do it again."
I love the water. I'm a big time boater and fisherman, but I just look at those kids, on some of these days, and I'm thinking, boy. If only,
I can't wait till July to get on my boat.
Yeah, no, good July, okay.
Nice and warm, and you fall over.
Oh, sure.
And it's okay.
Yep.
Any new coaches this year besides Mike Hersey?
Yes, we have Carrie Vall who is doing the lacrosse for the girls. She was over at Cape Cod Academy before. She's a Sandwich High School grad. She has a good history there. She's doing a terrific job already out there, and her husband is a former lacrosse goalie, and he is working with our lacrosse goalies. And Bruce Robertson has been a long-time assistant there. He's a teacher here, and he'll be a good stable force for the new coach, and so that's a good thing for us.
And you got a relatively new volleyball coach?
Mary Lou Martin, since Tom retired, she's been Tom's assistant for many years for the girls and the boys. And so she's a tried and true volleyball coach, and she's been, taught and learned a lot from one of the best, if not the best, around. So that's a positive.